When you're selling real estate in California, there's a lot of documentation that you need. You have the purchase contract, disclosures, loan documents, bank documents, proof of funds, the list goes on and on. But when you're getting ready to sell a property that you've inherited, there is additional documentation that you'll need. I'm the type of person that strives to be very organized. I don't always hit the mark, but it is something that I intentionally try to do. And if you were to look in my office right now, you would see that every real estate transaction that I'm involved with has its own binder. I like to keep everything neat and organized. And for this reason, I'm sharing in this video the documentation that you will need in order to sell a home that you've inherited, hoping that the more information that you have ahead of time, the more that you can collect this information ahead of time, it helps you stay organized and makes things go smoothly and have a successful transaction. So let's get started. One of the first things that you'll need are several copies of the death certificate, probably somewhere between 5 and 10 copies of that certificate. Now, in Sacramento County or California, only those with a direct relationship to the deceased can get copies of the death certificate. So this is a spouse, a child, a parent, a grandchild, and sometimes an attorney or a medical professional will be able to get copies. And I say that you need 5 to 10 copies, and it really depends on the size of the estate or how many financial institutions are involved. If the person who passed away has multiple bank accounts at multiple banks, each banking institution or financial institution will request a copy, an original copy of the death certificate. If the property that you're selling is going through probate, the courts will need a copy of the death certificate. The title or escrow company here in California will also need a copy, and your probate or trust attorney may ask for a copy as well. Basically, anytime there is a transfer of title from one trust entity or individual to another, a copy of a death certificate will be needed for that transaction. The next document that is needed is a copy of the will, if there is one. And this is to help determine who was authorized to be the administrator of the estate. And if the property is going through probate, the next documentation that you will need in order to sell the property are the court letters of testamentary or letters of administration. And if you're here in the Sacramento area or in California, your title or escrow company will require those documents in order to show that you do have authorization to sell the inherited property. Or if the property was held in a trust, then the title or escrow company here in California will require those trust documents showing the trustee has authorization. Now, the next group of documents, there's about 2 documents in this group, are things that your realtor or your title or escrow officer can help you with. And the first document is a deed to the property. This is something that was recorded at the county recorder's office when the decedent had purchased the property. And so we would need a copy of that. And again, that is something that the title or escrow officer can get for you. And the next document in this group is the title report. We want clear title. So the title report will show any known liens or encumbrances that are on the property. And we want to know those ahead of time in case there is anything that needs to be addressed before putting the property on the market to sell. The next group of documents have to do with any financial or legal claims to the property. And again, this is something that your realtor or your escrow officer can help you with here in California. If there's an existing mortgage on the property, and this would include a reverse mortgage, we would need all loan documents and a payoff statement. And your title or escrow officer can help with the payoff statement, but it helps to collect any loan information that you can find. We usually start with a mortgage statement because it has a majority of the information that we need, which would be the loan number and the remaining balance left on the mortgage. And if there are any additional known liens or financial claims to the property, we would need documentation of that as well. And just to get your mind thinking about what kind of liens or financial claims somebody may have to the property, some of the most common ones that I have seen are unpaid utility bills. Like water seems to be a very common utility bill that's attached to the property. Another one is solar panels. If solar panels were installed less than 25 years ago, there may still be a balance on those panels that would be attached to the property. New windows, same thing. If new windows were installed, there may be a lien against the property. And another one is any unpaid child support is unfortunately a common lien that is attached to properties. And I don't want you to freak out if you discover that there is a lien against the property, for example, solar panels, and there is a balance and you don't have the funds or the estate doesn't have the funds to take care of it right away. A lot of times it can be settled when the property is sold, meaning the lien gets paid when the property is sold and escrow is closed. Now, the next group of documents have to do with taxes and valuation of the property. And so we're going to start with the first document that you'll need is a date of death appraisal. And in California, this helps you determine the stepped up tax basis for the property. And you're going to want to check with your attorney to see what is best for you and your situation. There are times that your attorney may request that you hire an appraiser and do a full appraisal of the property. And there have been plenty of times that my husband and I, as realtors and as a broker, have been able to provide our clients with a market analysis at no cost to them, and that has satisfied what the courts needed. But again, check with your attorney on that one and they'll be able to direct you. And next in this group are property tax records. You want proof of current taxes or any details about any unpaid balances. And that can be retrieved by going directly to the county's website. And in the description below, I'll put Sacramento County, Placer County, and El Dorado County and Yolo County assessor's office information so that you know where to go to get that information. Now, the next group of documents have to do with contractual sales agreements and sales documents and any disclosures. And this is something that your realtor can help you with. And this would be everything from a listing agreement if you are listing the property to sell, to a purchase and sale contract, to a probate sale contract, to a trust advisory if the property is held in a trust, and all of the disclosures that are needed here in the state of California, as well as local disclosures too. Other documents that are needed has to do with personal identification, which is just proving that you are who you say you are and that you have the authority to sign the documents on behalf of the estate. Somewhere in the trust or in the court documents, there will be signing authority that the title or escrow company will need to prove that you have the authority to sign on behalf of the estate. And as well as that, you will need to bring your government issued ID to any signings. And what will also be needed to transfer the property is either a social security number or the entity or estate's tax ID number. So you'll want to have that information handy as well. Well, I sure hope this was helpful, and it may be edited out of the video, but I kept referring to my notes because I didn't want to miss any documentation for you. Again, I believe that the more organized you can be going into a transaction, collecting all of the documents that you need ahead of time, the more smoothly it will go and the more successful it will be for you. If I come to realize that there was something that I missed, I'll be sure to put it in the description below. Or if there was documentation that you needed for a transaction that you went through, please let me know so that we can help others. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.